I look so much tanner than you right now? I think it's because of the
light. Is...
Okay, yeah, I was like, we're not that different.
I'm not that white. Well.
Hello everyone, my name is Yara, and for Demigod-a-thon weeks 4 and 5, I have a friend with me.
Hello.
So for Demigod-a-thon, this was my 5th time reading the series entirely, so I am a veteran. I know this series through and through, so this is just kind of a fun ride for me. But Serena here, her name's Serena, by the way. Hello. You might have seen her in the Guess the Plot Challenge video. This was her first time reading it, so I thought it'd be fun to compare the experiences reading it at the same age, but me reading it for like the millionth time and her reading it for the first time. So, Serena, tell us how you started reading the series.
Okay, so basically, I'm sure most of you are aware of the Lightning Thief musical that was on Broadway, and my sister's a big fan of the series, so she really wanted to go see it. So she entered the lottery, and I was just in my bed, because it was winter break and I was doing nothing, and it was like 9 a.m. and she runs into my room and is like, Serena, do you want to see the Percy Jackson musical today at 2 p.m? And I was like, oh, because I still hadn't read it, because I just didn't, I don't know. And so she's like, so do you wanna just go? Like, we have to get a train at noon, you can start reading now, and maybe you can try to finish it. And so I sit up in my bed, I pick up the book, I start reading until like 11:45, and then like, train. So then I like go downstairs, get ready, get on the train, read more, read another like 100 pages of it, walk to the theater. Sitting in the theater for the 20 minutes before it starts, I'm continuously reading more. I'm only on page like 280 at that point. And then during intermission, I read another like 20 to 30 pages, and I get to the point where I think I got to the point where they were like about to start like the final battle sort of a thing. Like I wasn't exactly sure.
With Ares?
Yeah, I think they had gotten to Ares at that point. Or like they knew it was Ares or something like that. And then the second act started, so I couldn't really...
So that was a surprise.
...do anything else. Yeah, so I was like, ooh, fun, interesting. But because during the musical they had to like speed through a lot of the like battles in the middle, basically all the reading that I had done on the train was one song in the musical.
It was Drive?
It was Drive. I was like, well, there's every single thing I read on the train, so now I'm caught up, I guess. But I thought it was fun that I didn't really know the ending when I got to the musical, because then I was still like a little bit surprised, but I still got all the jokes from the first half. So I thought that was interesting. But then I had to keep reading because I liked it a lot. So I just started continuously reading.
And it happened to coincide with Demigod-a-thon. I didn't even have to tell her.
Yeah.
That's the power of Demigod-a-thon.
I did know about Demigod-a-thon because you had informed me that it was occurring.
Yeah. She's my roommate, by the way. She's over there.
I live there.
Okay, so let's begin talking about the series. I have questions here, so... Okay, so I knew Serena would like this series because we have very similar tastes in things. We are both like 10-year-olds in our hearts.
Yes.
So I knew that she would like this no matter what. But I was also kind of curious because whenever I read this series, I can't tell if I like it because of nostalgia or because it's actually good, and I don't think I'll ever be able to tell because I did read it when I was like 11. So I wanted to know if you thought that reading it older made any difference in the reading experience.
Well, while I was reading it, I wasn't like connecting I wasn't like viewing myself as one of the characters, which I think is something you do when you're like also 11 and reading a book about 12-year-olds. You like kind of like self-insert and you're like, yes, I agree, like I am also feeling the things they are feeling. And I am 19 years old, so I wasn't exactly feeling all of the like, I'm 11 and I hate my dad. Like, that wasn't something I was thinking. So I wasn't reflecting their opinions, but I was understanding where they were coming from. So it didn't like take anything away from it, because I was still like, oh, I understand why they're kind of bitter and sad, because they are children of gods and the gods don't seem to care about them, so I understand why they are upset. But I wasn't like, me too, yeah.
I don't remember how I felt the first time. It's been like almost 10 years. I didn't see how like much nuance that they put into like making the villains and the heroes.
Yeah.
Like they did like, it's like deconstructing the idea of good and evil, because like every single time you think that like heroes are the good guys or gods are the bad guys or vice versa, like something happens that makes you change your opinion.
They did a really good job, especially towards like, I think it was either the 4th or the 5th. I read them very close together, so it's kind of all like one timeline to me at this point. But they had like a whole moment of like Percy like doubting the gods. I forget, like it was just in his thoughts for like a hot minute. And it was just sometimes when like Kronos was trying to manipulate him, being like, do they really care about you? Like, are they really doing like these things? And Percy being like,
Or when he
Do
was
they
shown,
care?
when he was shown like the images, like the visions of Hermes and Luke, and Percy was like Luke is right. Like,
so Hermes didn't really care about him. Like, yeah, so they did a lot of the things where it was like, the gods aren't the good guys, it's the kids that are the good guys.
Yeah, but even that, it was deconstructed with Dionysus in the third book, because Percy is like, why the heck do you hate me? And then he's like, oh, like, heroes was the reason why, like, Ariadne was abandoned, like, Theseus just, like, dropped her after the whole quest thing.
Yeah.
So he was like, I have no respect for heroes, like, not, you guys aren't, like, the pinnacles of morality either. Yeah. And Percy was just like,
Percy was like, oh, well, what am I supposed to believe now?
Or even, like, Calypso kind of contributes to that.
Oh,
like,
I forgot.
She does.
Like I said, it's all a big old blur. I forgot Calypso happened.
Because Calypso, she was like, I did support my dad in the Titan War.
Because he's my dad.
And she said something along the lines of like, do you support the gods because they're right or because
they're your dad?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
What?
I was also a little upset when the Calypso thing happened because I was just like, Percy, stop it!
Every human that interacts with Percy is in love with him. We get it. Stop. Me too, but... Opinions on the humor style?
I loved it. I am... Apparently this is my humor style and I was unaware of it, but it was... I laughed so often. It was ridiculous.
This is another thing I'll never know, is that, like, if Percy Jackson formed my humor or just adhered to it and, like, because I read it at such a formative age that, like, I won't know. Yeah. But that's really weird. There was a bunch of knocking. But it's really weird because, like, we have such similar interests, but, like, you didn't read Harry Potter either until...
I read Harry Potter, like, sophomore year of high school because I was like, what have I been doing with myself? I realized that I have the personality that you would have expected to read a lot in middle school, and then I just wasn't reading. I don't know what I was doing in middle school, but I wasn't reading, apparently. I read, like, 4 things. I read, like, Agatha Christie, because I liked mystery. I read Murder on the Orient Express and, like, Eleanor and Park. That was, like...
Eleanor and Park? That's not Agatha Christie.
I know, but that was the other book I remembered reading in middle school. I read mysteries, and then someone did a book presentation on Eleanor and Park, and I was like, that sounds cute, so I read that too. I also didn't read The Hunger Games until high school.
Wow.
I really just, like, skipped all of the, like, big, like, middle school trend books.
Anyway, we're off topic.
Yeah, this is
Wait, have you ever seen the Percy Jackson movies?
No.
Oh. Don't. Or if you want to laugh.
I have heard...
At it.
That. I have heard issue.
What is your ranking of the 5 books?
Okay. So there's a lot... I have a lot of thoughts. I think that my first one is Last Olympian. Just because I really liked how it ended. And, like, all of the characters were, like, in it a lot and got to do a lot of cool things. And, like, so many things were happening the entire time. And I read it... I think I read that one the fastest. Just because I was just like, what is going on? I, like, need this to be resolved. And the ending was adorable. So I like...
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll just say off the bat, my order is the reverse order of when they were released. I like each book better than the last. And, like, every single time I read it, I'm like, ooh, is my opinion gonna change? And, like, I just have to accept it's just not gonna change. I love every book more than the last. I think with installments, you're always left kind of hanging, and that's, like, intentional to build up to the finale. But then, because of the finale, like, because it's such a successful finale, you feel so satisfied. Yeah. So, like, nothing can top that for me. After that, it's also, this is probably similar with Yara, it's also then the 4th one next, because so much happened. Like, so much was occurring, and there was, like, so many character things happening. Like, I was so happy that Tyson was there the whole time, almost, and, like, got to come along, and, like, the whole thing where they all, like, met one of their heroes, and then that hero let them down, like... all that sort of stuff. Like, I was very pleased that Tyson, Grover, like, they were just all together and that they were all experiencing all of the wacky things. Okay, now here's where I had issue. Because I don't dislike any of them, because I don't dislike things very easily as a person, as a rule. But, like... Okay, so I think I'm gonna say that it was, after 4, it's 1, 2, 3. Because... I just really liked the first one, is what I'm realizing as the more I think about it. Partly, I guess, because it was the first one, so it was why I started to read them, and because of the wild situation of which I started reading it, or in which I started reading it.
And, like, yeah, just, like, Percy, Grover, and like, just them, like, getting to know each other on the quest was really fun to see. And the reason I had first had 2 above it, because in 2 they were already friends, and so they already had that, like, dynamic. But in 2, I was like, Percy was too mean to Tyson.
That's
Personally,
true.
I really liked Tyson, and I was upset anytime Percy was mean to him. Though I saw where he was coming from vaguely, because he was like, I have a brother who, what is this? And so I wanted to put 2 higher because I love Grover, and I love that he got to be in a wedding dress. So much was happening. And then 3 was just because there wasn't enough Annabeth content.
That's a popular opinion.
Yeah, I didn't want 3 to be my least favorite, just because I knew that it generally was, and I was like, I don't want to just, like, add on to everyone else's opinions. But, like, I love Annabeth. And so I was so sad that she was not present for such a long time.
That is true.
And then, like, her and Percy had, like, tension after that one. Like, it was in the 4th one, right? Where they were kind of, like, mad at each other.
Kinda, yeah.
For, like, little bits of it. Like,
they're like always.
They're always a little bit upset at one another, but, like, I don't want them to be mad at each other. And also, she just, like, wasn't there. And I was like, what?
I love that scene in Titan's Curse when Aphrodite is like...
I lost it when Aphrodite appeared and Percy was just like, huh, she kind of looked like Annabeth for a second, and then, like, moved on. I was like, are you stupid? The answer is
the
yes,
most beautiful humans in the world. Oh, Annabeth.
Oh yeah, look, she looks like Annabeth. How coincidental. I'm not gonna think about this anymore, and then moved on.
Percy's such an idiot. Only in this aspect.
Yes.
He's pretty intelligent otherwise.
Yes. But I really did like... Oh, no, this wasn't a joke from the 3rd one. I thought it was a joke from the 3rd one, but it just is because Rachel Elizabeth Dare was part of it. And she, like, you meet her in the 3rd one, that's why I was confused. But when he meets her again in the 4th one, this is part of the humor, he's like, wait, you live in New York? And she's like, did you think I lived at the Hoover Dam? And I was like, that's fair.
Where did we get? Like, where did we start from?
We started at Order, I believe.
Oh, we're still on... I forgot.
We had just finished, or not finished, but, like, we were talking about Order.
So the reason why I put it as, like, 3, 2, 1 from here is because I like it. I appreciate it when we see them, like, as friends more, and seeing them, like, even when they struggle, like, with their friendships, I like that more than, like, just the beginning. I like Titan's Curse because it got so much darker. Like, you can actually feel it get darker. Also because it's winter. So it feels darker all around.
But I don't share that opinion because I like winter and I think winter is happy, so whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you, like, it's cool tone. Like, everything.
It's cool tone.
I like that we got to see deaths. That sounds morbid. But, like, I like the fact that
there was consequences.
Yeah. Because, I like that in terms of Percy's character development, because in the first 2 books, he kind of, like, flies by the seat of his pants, and he's like,
whatever, I'm the son of Poseidon.
Yeah. And then this one, like, things that he did, like, with Annabeth, that was his fault. Her getting captured. And then Bianca.
He saw Bianca as his fault, even though Bianca
it wasn't
saw it as
his
her
fault.
choice.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault, but he felt that he failed because he made a promise to Nico. And then... Actually, this one I never was at all. But then, like, there's a part in the book where he's, like, Thalia has kind of this, like, flashback to when she was fighting, because they're, like, all, like, cornered.
Yeah.
And then she has a flashback to when, like, they're fighting and she got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't believe I let this happen to her. Like, I shouldn't let her have to experience that again. And I was like, Percy, why are you blaming yourself? But he starts feeling all these responsibilities that he, like, has been able to, like, successfully fulfill in the previous books, but now he's like consequences happening.
Yeah. I did really like all the, like, Greek, like, backstory sort of things we got in the 3rd one, like how Riptide existed, like, and the fact that it was, like, all the, like, stuff about Zoe and, like, how much history she had because she's, like, immortal.
Oh yeah.
And that, like, she was there when the sword got built because, what was it, Hercules left her, and it was
that's
like,
another thing, because that was, like, in the same book where Didy said that heroes are bad, like,
and we learned that Hercules was, like, a douche.
Yeah.
Which
you'd expect it.
Yeah.
You said 3, 1, no, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
So the only thing we have switched is 1 and 3. We just, like, flip.
Yeah, I love 1, obviously. It's, like, the first one. But, like, every time I read it, it does feel a little bit long. And it's, like, the only book where I feel like the side quests aren't as relevant.
That's fair. There is a lot of just, like, let's go fight a chihuahua.
Yeah, and I think it was fully intentional because quests are like that. Yeah. And also because we don't really know anything, or very much about the big prophecy other than the fact that, like, Percy shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't see the grander picture until the end when you find out Luke is the lightning thief.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, from that point on, I like it better. I like seeing how
everything is knowing what's about.
Yeah, like, I like seeing all the build-up.
Yeah.
Persebeth. Not much to say, I guess.
It's so cute. I was so happy at the end.
Because
that's so
good.
Well, I really loved when Clarice ran in, and she was just like, finally, idiots!
Everyone was
like, hey guys, took you long enough, and then threw him in a lake, which I thought was beautiful.
But also,
because that would really happen, like at a camp. Like, yeah. I could see that happening.
And then Percy's like, I had the last laugh because I'm in an air bubble.
Like, because I'm the son of Poseidon.
It's also really sad when you think about it that, like, the reason, because I feel like Annabeth, look, she was kind of waiting for him to make a move, but also she was kind of distancing herself, because the first time, in, like, Battle Labyrinth, when they heard the end of the prophecy about, like, I forgot what it said.
It was like
something a hero's soul or something.
I thought it was something of, you would, like, lose a love.
Oh, yeah. And you lose a love to worse than death or something.
Yeah, lose a love to worse than death, and so
she thought
it was about Percy, so she was really sad, and then Percy was like, oh, so I guess that was about Luke.
But then still, it was just so she couldn't, like, she was scared to do anything then, and then in Last Olympian, it was kind of Percy who was like, I'm gonna die, so there's that.
Well, I really liked I don't really like, but when they made, like, Rachel like a problem, because Percy had to speak to her often, and so Annabeth was like, who is this? Who is this? And I was annoyed when they had Percy be like, yeah, I really like Rachel, and they, like, went to the beach together and he was gonna go on vacation with her. I was like, Percy!
There was a part that, like, made my heart hurt when he was like, I think it's the end of Battle Labyrinth, or the beginning of I think it was the end of Battle Labyrinth, when he was like, it hurt to, it was about Annabeth, he was like, it hurt to be with her, but it hurt to not be with her too.
I was like, you dummy.
Oh, I like the part when, like, they're about to go into, like, fighting, and he's like, don't I get a kiss for good luck?
Isn't that the tradition now? And she's like, we'll see.
Come back alive. My favorite ship of all time. OTP, forever.
Yeah, this is why she knew I would like this, because it's just cute.
Mm-hmm. We know. We have similar tastes. Okay, now I want to ask, what's your least favorite parts of the series?
Oh, I already talked about it. Whatever.
Oh,
whoops,
yeah, the Rachel
I made the mistake. I didn't like that they turned Rachel into a dividing force between Percy and Annabeth. Because, like, she seemed kind of cool. Like,
yeah.
She was just like, I can see through the mist. Woo! And I don't see things coming very frequently in books and movies. Like, I get really wrapped up in the story, so I don't, like, think about, like, I wonder what's happening next. But I actually saw the Oracle thing coming, and I was like, wow, look at me go. Because, I mean, after the part where they talk about,
I think it was just a dream.
Yeah, there was, like, a dream where he found out that, like, the Oracle couldn't, like, have another body or something like that. And then once we learned about Luke's mom, which was so sad.
Yeah, that's why I also like The Last Olympian so much, because, like, everything is so sad.
So
like, the backstories.
It's so sad. We learned about Luke's mom, and then I was like, oh, so is Rachel gonna try to do this? Because especially when she started being like, I think Percy needs me, and, like, having all these, like, weird thoughts, I was like, oh no, is she gonna try to do the Oracle thing? I was worried it wasn't gonna go well, but then apparently it's fine.
That's another thing I don't like reading. I think as a kid I was like, yeah, like, Annabeth, I'd be angry too. Like, it's my boy, or whatever, even though it's not Percy. But I like Annabeth. Please.
Hello.
I mean, a common complaint is that the series is too childish.
What?
But, like, as we discussed, this is our brand of humor.
10. It's fun.
So I can't really make a claim on that.
Nope.
It really depends on the kind of person you are. Because, like, obviously this is meant for middle schoolers.
Yes.
It is clearly meant. It's not meant for anyone. He didn't write it for anyone else. But it can be enjoyed by other people.
People who think they're middle schoolers.
Yeah. Well, what else? Oh, I just, like, more things about Last Olympian, because it's such a good book.
It's so good.
I was so stressed when, like, they only had 40 campers. I was like, excuse me. What? But then everyone showed up.
I was so sad during the Celina part. Yeah. When she dresses as Clarice and then, like, leads the whole, like, charge against the
The Draken.
Draken, yeah.
Draken.
I was like, Celina. But also I really liked that they like swept under the rug the fact that she was the spy, because they were just like, no.
Serena, the toilet's overflowing. What? You can't see yourself.
That was my blooper.
Is it actually? It's not actually.
No. Okay. I was like, I don't even know what I was saying.
Celina.
Oh, right. That was very sad.
Wait, have you read the Iliad?
Like, have I read the Iliad?
Yeah.
No. I read the Odyssey.
Well, Sea of Monsters is obviously kind of like a retelling of the Odyssey.
Oh wait, yeah, I don't know a ton about Greek mythology, but I know like enough because I read like a graphic novel series about like the gods at some point, and I really liked the like subtle hints at who's the Odyssey about?
Odysseus.
Odysseus. Wow. Okay, moving on. About Odysseus, because like this whole Cyclops thing where he fights him by like hiding under a sheep and then being like, it's nobody, and the Cyclops is like, huh? And I really liked how it was like after that, so they like used that to their advantage. They were like, I'm back. It's me again.
I was just gonna say that Celina is like that whole thing is retelling of the Iliad because it's a Trojan War. Because she's supposed to be like Patroclus and then Who? Because what happens in the Trojan War is that
I know like the horse thing.
Wait, is it Achilles? I think it's Achilles. The same thing happens like with Clarice, where like he's disrespected or something. So he's like the best fighter.
Yeah.
So he's like
I'm not gonna fight. Mm.
So then Patroclus dresses up in his armor.
Oh, I think I did hear that. Keep going.
Yeah, and then goes to fight, but then he ends up
getting killed.
He ends up dying. It's been a long time.
He probably ends up dying. Everyone thinks he's Achilles. They're probably just gonna like shoot him and be like, whatever, I'll just shoot him anyway for fun, and then he actually gets shot because he's not Achilles.
Wait, I liked that they did the river Styx thing.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like the whole time Nico was like, yeah, we gotta do this, and then once they got there, Nico was like, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. I also really liked that.
Oh, but he saw Annabeth.
Because he was in the like river, and I remember him saying like, yeah, like my mom and Grover and Rachel, and I was like, oh, but then he like saw Annabeth, and I was like,
I feel like it probably makes him like OP, but it's also like established in the canon that this is a thing. Yeah. It was so epic though when he like destroyed all those monsters.
He was just like, who? I also really liked that they had what was his name, Ethan?
Yeah.
Like he knew that like the small of Percy's back was the place.
Because, how did he know?
Well, because like for some reason Annabeth just knew that was where it was, and so like instead of letting Percy get stabbed, she jumped in front of him, and so Kronos was like, why would you jump in front of him when he's invincible unless you were about to hit the place that he isn't invincible? And Ethan was like, I know nothing.
I like that how he also kind of redeemed himself in the end. The part that made me like tear up, I teared up a lot in this reread, but like when Luke was like me, Ethan, like don't let it happen to any other demigod, and I was like, that's why like, I think it's so cool. I love it when Percy denies being a god to help the half-bloods.
That was kind of like Percy wasn't gonna just be like, cool.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't gonna take the god, but I thought it was like I liked that. I think that was like the perfect way to wrap the series was to make the gods accountable.
Yes.
I also forget that Hermes plays a big role in the series, because I mean, he is Luke's dad.
Yeah.
Because he knew about Luke's fate, but he couldn't do anything
like
about
couldn't talk to him that much because Luke was a child and would have asked repeatedly about it.
Like, it doesn't mean that the way he treated him was right, but it's not like he's entirely evil. Yeah. It's just this whole, like, it's complicated.
There's layers.
Onions have layers.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to.
There's some things I want to talk about The Last Olympian, but I cannot in front of you because you have not read the second series. I'll just say that like there are some lines that like hit you so much differently. That hit you so much like what is the proper grammar?
That hit you different.
That hit you differently after you read the second series. Yeah. I mean, I think you can guess what the second series is about.
Can I?
What happened at the end?
What happened at the end?
Rachel gave a prophecy.
Oh, right, the whole prophecy. That.
Yeah.
I don't remember the prophecy. I was just remembering Percy and it being like, God, another prophecy, and they're like, oh wait, but prophecies last a long time. Maybe it's for a different generation of demigods, and we could just be happy. And I have a feeling that's false.
That is unfortunately false for them. Are you going to read the next series?
I don't know when I'm going to, because I have other things I have been meaning to read and stopped reading, at least especially because we're kind of in school. So this might be those might be like a summer type of read for me. Is the second series, is that the one that has Mark of Athena and House of Hades?
Yeah.
Wow, look at
How
me.
did you know that?
Because they're on my sister's bookshelf. I'll get to those.
Eventually.
Once I start reading something, I like will read it at every instant of the day that I can for like until I finish it, and then I'll just like stop reading for like a month, and I want to stop doing that.
Consistency.
Yeah, I want to be more consistent. Because I finished The Last Olympian and Battle of the Labyrinth within like 4 days.
Yeah, you read it faster than I did. Like, because when I asked you about this video, you were on Titan's Curse.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to them.
Yeah, because you're like, I might finish by
I was like,
April.
I'll finish in April. Which was...
And then she finished before I did. Anyway, I think that's all we have to say
about that.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!